So we're here. Starting this week, we have the Women's CONCACAF U17 qualifiers. So again, if you are new to the channel, we do primarily Canadian and African content, but we just want to cover this real quick so you guys know what's coming because this affects Canada. Canada should be running a camp in Spain sometime soon. We know that thanks to an interview Casey Stoney did with Northern Football Podcast, which I'll put the link up here so you guys can see it if you are on YouTube, and if you're on podcast, you'll see it in the description where she references that. But here's what's at stake: you have six groups. All those groups are moving on, are sending one team over, and because with the new format, the U17s going from 16 to 24. So Canada gets to send four teams. So what's important to note again is with the format, CONCACAF gets to send four teams to the now annual for the next 5 years U17s. However, in this round of qualifiers, they are actually sending all the group winners plus the two best runner ups. So every game does matter effectively. First and second, you are still live, which makes this interesting in a bit because no one result can kill you, but some lopsided results might keep you alive. So it'll be interesting. So here are the groups. You have Group A, which are Bermuda, Cayman Islands, Puerto Rico, and St. Vincent. Group B, you have Belize, Honduras, Trinidad, and Tobago, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Group C, Cuba, Guyana, Panama, and the Turks and Caicos. Group D, Anguilla, Curacao, El Salvador, and Guatemala. Group E, you have Jamaica, Nicaragua, and St. Kitts. And Group F, you have Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, and Grenada. Now, to me, if we had to make an assumption here based off of what we've seen in past performances, past tournaments, I would say look out for groups. This could be interesting. I would say look out for Group F. Group F could be a very interesting group in terms of sending multiple teams. Their problem is going to be they don't have as many games. So they would all have to. There's almost no way that that group goes through, and the way that this group is still standing is a little bit. It's a little bit disappointing. You have groups of four. You couldn't just do groups of five potentially, because if they had split Group E, there has to be more games. But if you had split Group E and Group F and put them into Group A, B, C, D, it'd be one to two teams more in each group. But at least you give them a better fighting chance. Because now at a disadvantage, you have Nicaragua, St. Kitts, Jamaica, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, and Grenada. Because right now, there's not enough games for them to make up. Say if a Curacao in Group D has a good run, but can get finishes in second because they have that additional game. El Salvador the same thing. Guatemala, Anguilla the same thing. So it's one of the problems that I think CONCACAF has had when it comes to setting up these tournaments. You always run into the situations where it starts off and you're saying, okay, we have an equal amount of teams in every competition. And then you grow and you say, okay, but now we're missing teams because their federations aren't investing much into women's football. And now you're left with a situation where it's just, okay, what next? And it's unfortunate because we've seen teams had to cut down often. But this is my slight soapbox on this. Let me get back to some predictions and let's talk about who I think comes out of each group. So, Group A: Bermuda, Cayman Islands, Puerto Rico, and St. Vincent. I like what Bermuda is building. The Cayman Islands can be interesting, but I think Puerto Rico comes out of Group A. Group B: Belize, Honduras, Trinidad and Tobago, and U.S. Virgin Islands. I think Honduras comes out of Group B. In Group C: Cuba, Guyana, Panama, and the Turks and Caicos. By definitely, I think Panama is a team that should go through, but keep an eye out for Cuba. I think Cuba might surprise a few people in this group. Group D: Anguilla, Curacao, El Salvador, and Guatemala. I think this could be a potential two-team group with El Salvador and Guatemala maybe making it out. We'll see. Curacao could be interesting, and Anguilla always at the good side. Group E: Jamaica, Nicaragua, and Saint Kitts. On paper, I assume Jamaica should make it through. I say on paper, just assumptions, but look out for Nicaragua. I think because there's not enough teams in this group, one subpar performance might doom you. And if Nicaragua, say, can get a draw against Jamaica and then batter St. Kitts, and then Jamaica maybe doesn't look as convincing against St. Kitts and Nicaragua, they don't have as much wiggle room. Group F, that's I think the toughest group to match up. I want to say Costa Rica is definitely making it through. But Dominican Republic have been always putting together solid sides, and Grenada is not a side that you really want to look too down on. They're building. They may not be at the level yet, but they're building. So I'm gonna go with Costa Rica making it out, Dom Rep. But again, this would be a group where I wish potentially they could have pushed through a few more teams and maybe given them the opportunity to move through. Before I stop talking, reminding you that they're going to join Haiti, Canada, US, and Mexico in a championship round that's going to take place in March. And then from there, we'll have our four teams moving on to the U17s in Morocco. Let me know who your favorites are. And as always, now, I'm going to stop talking right here.